Welcome to our weekly group meeting for container security. Alexander, looks like you've got a few things you wanted to talk us through today.
Yeah, I was recently working on the follow-up for the cluster image scanning, the operational vulnerabilities tab, and the tasks in there were like roughly laid out as in like create the cluster filter for the operational vulnerability report, and then create the image filter for the operational vulnerability report and put it everywhere. So I was cleaning up. Now that I had created the cluster filter and the image filter, I was looking at putting it places, and there was a few issues that I came up against. And so I created a bunch of new issues and I made comments everywhere, and I just wanted to summarize them here in one place. The first one is putting the image filter on the agent level vulnerability report. I needed a backend GraphQL query for retrieving all the images for an agent, and Mathieu graciously already created that MR, and that is up in review, so thank you so much for that. Another issue I came up against is I thought when I originally was creating this, I sort of thought the vulnerability summary counts we got free with just creating filters, but that is not the case. There's a separate query for that needs to be modified at the project level. And so I believe Mathieu also has responded to this, but I created an issue for that, and it looks like there's going to, so that now exists. And then I created new issues for putting the cluster and image filters on the group and security center levels. And it sounds like there's some concern about backend performance with that. And as you can imagine, getting all the images for the instance or all the clusters for the instance might not be very performant. And so there needs to be a spike involved with that. But I sort of, with these sort of last minute backend issues brought up, Sam, I sort of wanted your thinking about what's the priority of these against everything the backend's already working on.
Yeah, sure. So priority wise, our top priority right now is still getting cluster image scanning ready for general availability. And this doesn't necessarily have to be in for general availability. So this would be a lower priority than that, but I would love to kind of wrap up this body of cluster image scanning work. I think we've been at it for over a year now at this point. And so it'd be really nice to kind of wrap that up and move on. So it basically falls, essentially in like second priority. I think on the page we have it as like 1B or something. Let me check.
It is the follow-up is listed as number 1, only because it was thought that there was no more back-end work for this, and that was my mistake. There is.
Got it. Yeah, I'm looking actually our 1A and 1B is a little bit off, but it's probably not a big deal. Mostly we want 1B, which is that simplify cluster image setup. I think that Epic has most of the things that are blocking us from moving to GA. So once we have that done, we can move the feature to GA, and then we can kind of clean up the other parts of that Epic. So I can reorder that to make it more clear.
Awesome, thank you. All right, cool. Is there any other questions, comments, or concerns for this or anything else?
I don't have anything else. Yeah, great work, everybody. Glad to see it move forward.
Cool. All right.